FAB-Racing.
Pole position for this one. It's your championship leader, Ronnie Harris, the number 66, who's currently leading this championship. But it's Ollie Horner, the number 70, who's on pole position at the moment, with a 53.8 in qualifying. He took pole position, Clay Pigeon, and took pole position here. Ethan Sparks then in second, ahead of Ronnie Harris in third, Warwick Brady in fourth, Samuel Munson in fifth, Clayton Edmonds in sixth, Cameron Sewell in seventh, ahead of Alfie Davidson in eighth. Blake Wilson is the number 108 in ninth place, ahead of Harrison McKay in 10th. Casey Sperry, Luke Schofield, Charlie Huntingford, Ollie Sims and Jacob Stevenson rounding out your top 15, with Philip Soroviak, Arnie Carr, Harry Payne, Felix Dorling and Dominic Gardiner rounding out the top 20 here for race 1 for the MK GP50s.
Yep, so Ronnie Harris, who's yet to finish off of the podium, he's picked up 3 wins on the season. He will be starting in third place. Ollie Horner, as you say, second pole position in a row after taking pole at Clay Pigeon. Will be delighted with his qualifying results, and he's now just going to hold on to the position, because he was pushed back a little bit by the likes of Ronnie Harris, Ethan Sparks and Mason Foster in Clay Pigeon. But yeah, I'm sure Ollie, although all those times set in the dry, we're now in completely different conditions. So let's see who can get up to speed in these slick, greasy and pretty nasty conditions, and those kind of not quite standing water wet, yes, challenging conditions. That's exactly the word I was thinking of, as it's the you can see it's Ethan Sparks on screen there, the 62. He will be lining up in second position, currently 10 points off Ronnie Harris in first place. So Ethan Sparks will be thinking of once again picking up some good points here, and he will be looking to add to a couple of wins that he's picked up. He's picked up 3 so far this season in the MK GP50 class, but he's got Mason Foster, he's got Ethan Sparks, he's got Ronnie Harris for company. Equally, he's got Ollie Horner, who'll be lining up on the pole for this one. But who's going to get that launch off the line? Will it be Ollie? Will it be Ethan? As they look to the lights and get ready, everyone just tentatively waiting and getting ready to go as they look to the lights and get ready to start their first race of the weekend here at Whilton Mill. And it's engine notes revving rise, and up and out we go for the first start of the weekend. And it's Ethan Sparks that sweeps around the outside, takes the race lead, as already you can see up to second place goes Ronnie Harris. In third place is the 99 of Warwick Brady. So good stuff from Warwick Brady. He's challenging Ethan Sparks as they go up the hill towards Christmas Corner for the first time. So Warwick Brady really charging from fourth place. He's going to find himself in second, and already going to the inside of Ronnie Harris. Warwick Brady's taking this lead.
Yeah, Warwick Brady we saw really strong in the wet back at Lydd when it rained there. He took 2 second places in the wet, which are his only podiums of the season so far, and he's looking to go one better in the wet this time out. He's challenging for the win, and he does take the lead. So the number 99 it is that leads over the number 66 of Ronnie Harris. Also there, Clayton Edmonds doing a brilliant job, the number 146 climbing up into third position. So wet weather definitely throwing a spanner in the works for your front men in this championship. Mason Foster, though, not on the grid in this race. He's third place in the championship. But that's Warwick Brady down, so that's number 99 who's crashed out of the race. He took an early lead, but perhaps just expected a little bit too much from these track conditions earlier on, and he's crashed out at the boots, and he's trying to get back and rejoin this race. So Warwick Brady crashing out and back into this race now, so that promotes Ronnie Harris up into first place, Clayton Edmonds up into second. But Clayton Edmonds having a look at Christmas Corner, will he take the lead? Yes, Clayton Edmonds it is then who's leading this race from the number 66 of Ronnie Harris. Samuel Munson as well there, you can see in the background, defending third place ahead of the number 61 of Harrison McKay. What can the number 146 do of Clayton, the number 146 of Clayton Edmonds do then? And now he is out front. Will Ronnie Harris be able to respond? Clayton Edmonds looking really comfortable at the front here, but Ronnie Harris all over the back of him.
Yeah, what a start from Clayton. Started 6th on the grid, finds himself in the lead with 3 laps done. So brilliant start from the 1:04.6. And Clayton was saying that he was delighted with 4th place at Clay Pigeon. So if he holds on to position, you can see the back end of that bike wanting to step out, but it does well to hold on to it. But it is him and Ronnie Harris that have started to break away from the 72 of Samuel Munson in 3rd place. But across the line comes Clayton Edmonds, does a 1:10.5. He's almost a second faster than Ronnie Harris. So Clayton Edmonds on a charge here in the early stages of this one. Ronnie Harris 0.4 of a second down, but starting to get back on the pace and starting to close back in on Clayton, not wanting to let the 1:46 ride away into the distance and allow the bike with the orange accent wheel to move further forward and possibly pick up his first win here in the MK GP50s. As there's the 21 off to the side of the road, and that's Dominic Gardner. And we spoke to Dominic, and unfortunately for him, it looks as though he's having some bike issues, trying to get back in the race now. But there is your race leader, 1:46, Clayton Edmonds from Ronnie Harris. Ronnie Harris, of course, leading the championship on 183 points. 10 points ahead of Ethan Sparks. Ethan Sparks is down in 8th position, so not a great race so far for Ethan.
No, we saw him struggle in the wet at Lyd in the GP50s as well. The only times he's finished off the podium was in the wet at Lyd, and now looking in 8th place, so not where we're used to seeing Ethan, but brilliant stuff at the front from Clayton Edmonds, only 11 years old in this mini GP50 category. He took 3rd place in the AC40 Pros last year. His best result is 4th place at Clay Pigeon in the Metro Kit classes, so he'll be delighted if he can hold on to this one. Still 7 laps to go though, and Ronnie Harris putting the pressure on, although Clayton Edmonds looks like he's got a little bit of breathing space now ahead of Ronnie Harris. The number 72 of Samuel Munson still defending 3rd place ahead of the number 61 of Harrison McKay. Jacob Stevenson doing really well there, up into 5th place. Brilliant ride from Stevenson. Sparks now up into 6th ahead of Blake Wilson, Ollie Horner, the number 100 of Cameron Sewell in 9th, and Warwick Brady in 10th place now after recovering from that crash. He's setting a pace that's quite a bit quicker than the riders in front of him on a 1:10.5 on that last lap, so almost as quick pretty much as quick as your race leaders. So he'll be climbing up through the field, but it'll be a bit of a tall order for him to catch back up to your podium positions. Just looking at the number 70 there then, that's Ollie Horner, who started from pole position. He's dropped down to 8th place in this race, so he's going to have to try and bring his pace back up to the front of this race. But the number 99, we can see there, of Warwick Brady, who's recovering from that win. He goes round the outside into the first corner. That's Oblivion, so now he's right behind the number 60 of Ollie Horner. He's challenging for 8th position, gets a good drive down the straight and takes that 8th place away from Ollie Horner. So Warwick Brady, the number 99, looking to charge through the field now to recover from that crash he had up at the boot. Turn 10 on this Whilton Mill circuit. But it is still Clayton Edmonds holding on to that lead ahead of Ronnie Harris. It was 0.2 of a second over the line, and it's looking really close. Cam Harris there, the number 100, just making his way through. And that's Warwick Brady down again, the number 99. He's crashed at turn 10, and now he's crashed at turn 9. So Warwick Brady down, and it looks like he's going to be out of this one for good this time. Really unfortunate for Warwick Brady. That's the tank missing there from that Metrokit GP50 bike. So Warwick Brady really unlucky. Just got caught out by the conditions there. Was pushing hard to try and climb up through the field, but unfortunately got caught out by turn 9. Yeah, the rider from North Wales, you can see how frustrated he is. He knew that he was on a right fight back there, but Clayton Edmonds still leading this one. But yeah, real shame for Warwick Brady. He will lose a heap of points in the championship. But there, Clayton Edmonds, the 146, doing a brilliant job so far holding Ronnie Harris. But this is the closest Ronnie Harris has been in a number of laps. In fact, is he going to get up the inside? He's onto the curbs and he's going to have the inside line. Not quite. Clayton's going to try and show him the door, but here comes Ronnie Harris, championship leader, taking the lead of this one with 5 laps left to go. Ronnie Harris up into the lead. Clayton Edmonds now down to 2nd place. Now let's see what Ronnie can do. Can he start to streak away? Now he's up. We've got a rider down at the top end of the circuit, and that's Ethan Sparks. So Ethan Sparks now up to 5th place. I was just looking at my screen. So that's the 72
That's Samuel Munson that's down there at the exit of turn 4 and turn 5. So Samuel Munson down out of 4th position. So yeah, a real shame for Sam, but Ronnie Harris coming across the line, and Ronnie Harris with this lead, but Clayton not giving up, so doing a brilliant job so far. He celebrated his birthday at Clay Pigeon with his best result, but is looking at bettering this, and well, he's got second at the moment, but he's definitely got his eyes on that win.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's taken the lead back, so he's definitely got his eyes on the victory. The number 146 of Clayton Edmonds moves up ahead, but it's a red flag. It's a red flag caused by one of the crashes there. So Edmonds, it was that was second across the line last time around. So Ronnie Harris is currently your provisional race winner in this one. With 4 laps to go, though, we'll wait for that one to be confirmed.
Yeah, that would be a big result there for Ronnie Harris picking up this win. Ethan Sparks recovering from 8th position all the way back to 4th for the as they cross the line. But there is the man on screen that was leading when the red flag came out. But of course, we'll see if it comes back to count or to roll back as they came across the line, because it was Ronnie Harris that was leading coming across the line, but Clayton Edmonds once again making that move up the inside. But regardless, that's a first podium for Clayton, and he will be and should be absolutely delighted.
Yeah, he looks really happy there, just celebrating in that one. So whether it's first or second, I'm sure he'll be really happy with that result. Although he definitely would have wanted it to have been a win. But Ronnie Harris, then your provisional winner, led last time across the line ahead of Clayton Edmonds and Harrison McKay, who's looking good to pick up one of to his first podium as well.
Yeah, good race there from Harrison, and equally making moves. So Harrison starting in 10th place and ends up currently on the podium provisionally. So of course all these results are provisional until we get the full results sent through to us. But but this is how the timing looked across the laps with 4 laps left to go. It was Ronnie Harris across the line leading from Clayton Edmonds, so he is currently provisionally your victor ahead of Clayton Edmonds 146. Harrison McKay in 3rd with Ethan Sparks in 4th, Jacob Stevenson in 5th with Blake Wilson in 6th, Cameron Sewell in 7th with Ollie Horner falling all the way down to 8th, Philip Soroviak in 9th, and Ollie Sims rounding out the top 10. Of course, all results are subject to change, but yeah, I'm sure Ronnie Harris and Clayton Edmonds, great battle at the front there. I'm sure both of them will be either happy with first or second.
Yeah, absolutely. For Ronnie Harris, the championship leader, 25 points or 20 points will do him really well. He had a 10-point lead going into that race. So with Ethan Sparks down in 4th place in this race, the main thing for Ronnie Harris is to be ahead of Ethan Sparks. And Mason Foster didn't start this race. He wasn't in qualifying. We didn't see him in the practice sessions in the 50s, although he is out in the GP70s. So perhaps some technical issues for Mason Foster's MK GP50 machine, but he's 3rd in this championship and would have been pretty quick in these wet weather conditions. As we saw, he was pretty good at lid in the wet as well. But it was Ronnie Harris then that's still on with this provisional win ahead of the number 146 of Clayton Edmonds. Brilliant result from the number 146 of Clayton. His best result previously was 4th place at Clay Pigeon. He was 3rd place in the AC40 Pros last year, and only 11 years old as the number 146.
And of course, all the final results can be found on the Speed Hive website, so make sure you go check them out to find out all of these results that, of course, if they've been stopped early and were made provisional, check them out there for all the confirmed results.
It was an incredible battle yesterday between the number 66 of Ronnie Harris, your championship leader, and also in 3rd place on the grid, Ollie Horner. Then it was on pole position, and will be starting from pole position in this race ahead of Ethan Sparks in 2nd place. Ronnie Harris, your championship leader, in 3rd. Warwick Brady really quick in the wet in 4th. Sam Munson in 5th. Clayton Edmonds, race 1 winner, in 6th ahead of Cameron Sewell. The number 8 of Alfie Davidson in 8th ahead of Blake Wilson, and Harrison McKay in 10th place.
From 11th down, you've got Casey Sperry, Luke Schofield, Charlie Huntingford, Ollie Sims, Jacob Stevenson, Philip Sorowiak, Arnie Carr, Harry Payne, Felix Dorling and Dominic Gardner in 20th position. But it will be Ollie Horner, second pole position in a row for him after taking pole Clay Pigeon. So Ollie showing that he's got the pace in quali, he just needs to translate that through to race pace. And we did speak to him this morning, and he did say that he's not particularly a fan of these wet weather and tricky and slidey and slippery and all those conditions that riders don't like. And so we'll see if that hinders him off of the line. But watch out for Ronnie Harris in third position and Ethan Sparks in second. So the two that's been dueling their way up to the top of the standings will be once again, I'm sure, going side by side into oblivion on the opening lap.
But it'll be Ollie Horner then, who we spoke to earlier on today, is going to be looking to pick up a podium in this one from pole position ahead of the number 62 of Ethan Sparks. Second place man in the championship. Your championship leader, Ronnie Harris, had a good battle yesterday with Clayton Edmonds, who took the win after a red flag. Ronnie Harris overtaking on a yellow, which gifted Clayton Edmonds the win, which was much deserved after a race-long battle with the number 66. But looking to race two then, very different conditions to yesterday. Was a rain-soaked track yesterday that gave Clayton Edmonds that win, but now it's about all these riders at the front. Ollie Horner then on pole position is going to be looking to the lights to start race two for the MK GP50s. The lights will be on very shortly. They are on and they're out very quickly, and it's a good start there from Ethan Sparks, who takes the whole shot. Contact there between the number 66 and the number 70 of Ollie Horner, as Warwick Brady also gets a brilliant start. Ollie Horner goes right out onto the dirty stuff at turn 2, so a really unfortunate start to the race for Ollie Horner. He's going to have to climb up through the field in this one, but Ethan Sparks is first and second in the championship. Ethan Sparks, second place man in the championship, ahead of Ronnie Harris, the number 66. Ollie Horner going around the outside of Harrison McKay around there, and that's Ronnie Harris who's gone down. Ronnie Harris out of this race. He's going to try and get that bike up and restart it to the number 76. That's your championship leader who's crashed down at turn 6.
17-point advantage for Ronnie Harris overnight over Ethan Sparks, and disaster for him. The 66 down, he's now back into the race, but that promotes Ethan Sparks up into the lead. We've got Warwick Brady in second and Clayton Edmonds in third, so Clayton having another good showing here in the GP50s. But what a side panel bangling between Ronnie Harris and the pole sitter Ollie Horner cost Ollie Horner the chance. He had to go to the runoff area and lost a whole heap of time until he's managed to recover back to fourth place by the end of that one. So a good recovery ride so far for Ollie. He's now there you see Clayton Edmonds has made the move up on Warwick Brady, so Clayton Edmonds now up into second. He's really enjoying this circuit.
Yeah, Clayton Edmonds absolutely flying around this Whilton Mill circuit. Took a fourth place back at Clay Pigeon and now looking really strong at this Whilton Mill circuit. Warwick Brady also riding really well in a podium position as well at the moment, but he's got quite a few riders behind him that are going to be looking eager to try and take that away from him. So he's got his work cut out for him in this one as Alfie Davidson and Harrison McKay going side by side through into the boot. Really close racing from these guys a little bit further back, but Ronnie Harris crashing out of this race. He hasn't finished off of the podium so far this season, so this could be the first time we see the number 66 not on a GP50 podium.
Yeah, a lot of work for Ronnie Harris to recover some points, but there you see the battle for fifth position. It's Sam Munson, Harrison McKay, Alfie Davidson, but Ollie Horner now closing in on Clayton Edmonds. So Ollie Horner back up to third position past Warwick Brady, and Ollie went fastest last time around with a 58.152. So he was about 0.2 of a second faster than your race leader Ethan Sparks. Ethan with a 1.8 second advantage ahead of Clayton Edmonds in second position. There's the battle between Casey Sperry and Alfie Davidson for 7th and 8th position. They're following Warwick Brady, who's now dropping down the order. So Warwick Brady having a poor lap, and he's now falling into the clutches of Alfie Davidson in 7th position.
Yeah, and Ethan Sparks there just setting the fastest lap of the race and stretching that gap out to 2 seconds across the line over Clayton Edmonds. So Ethan Sparks controlling the race at the front. Looking further back there, the number 100 of Cameron Sewell there, just tucked in behind Ollie Sims on the number 73 machine. So that's the battle for 10th place, and quite a few riders in that battle. Ollie Sims in there, Cameron Sewell, Philip Saraviak, who we spoke to earlier in the weekend, Jacob Stevenson, Harry Payne and Charlie Huntingford all battling it out in that group there. And you can see it's Ollie Sims who's currently holding on to that 10th place ahead of the number 100 of Cameron Sewell. But Jacob Stevenson at the inside of Cameron Sewell came from nowhere to take that position away from the number 100. So a brilliant move there from the number 67 machine.
Yeah, and he's being followed by Cameron Sewell. So Cameron with his eyes on the bikes in front, because that was a bold move there from Jacob Stevenson. There we go, across the line, and Alfie Davidson does the fastest lap, a 56.4. He's half a second faster than your race leader, Ethan Sparks. So you can see Alfie now starting to get on with it. There's a gap between himself and Ollie Horner. Ollie Horner is fallen down to 0.3 of a second behind Clayton Edmonds. So Clayton's still holding on to the second. Ollie Horner very wide there through the exit of turn 5, and Ronnie Harris down again. That's your championship leader down at the final corner, and it's a disastrous race for him. You can see frustration for the 66 bike, and yeah, it's just obviously pushing too hard to try and recover this lost time.
Yeah, absolutely. He had the fastest lap of the race at one point and was really trying to charge through the field, but perhaps pushing a little bit too hard, and unfortunately went down. Ollie Horner now right on the rear wheel of Clayton Edmonds, so this battle for second position is turned into a battle for two between the number 146 of Clayton Edmonds on that multicoloured machine, just ahead of the blue and yellow bike of the number 70 Ollie Horner. The number 66 of Ronnie Harris getting restarted in this race, hoping that he can pick up some points in this one. But it's the 67 who's now moved his way up into 10th place. Jacob Stevenson, after a brilliant move earlier on. And is that a problem there for the number 146? It is. He's slowing down. So your second place man, Clayton Edmonds, picked up a win yesterday, but running into some technical issues now in this race 2 for the MK GP50s. So that looks like it's possibly going to be curtains for the number 146. Unfortunate scenes for him. You could just see Warwick Brady catching him up now, and Harrison McKay shaking his head as he goes down the back straight into turn 9. So Clayton Edmonds, it looks like, with some technical issues in this race. That promotes Ollie Horner up into second place then, and Alfie Davidson now ahead of Ollie Horner. So Alfie Davidson setting the fastest lap again on that last lap. Alfie Davidson now into second place ahead of Ollie Horner. Clayton Edmonds lifting his hand up and unfortunately suffering from some technical gremlins.
Where is Alfie Davidson comes from? This speed is electric, passing Ollie Horner, who's seemingly the one that was on the charge, and there he is, the number 8 on screen, really putting in some stellar laps. He's got 4 seconds the gap between himself and Ethan Sparks. Ethan Sparks, who of course picked up 2 wins 2 weekends ago at Clay Pigeon, and the opening race of the season at Lydd in round 1, and he's looking on for another race win today. But behind he's got a charging Alfie Davidson. Ollie Horner's trying to go in, and there is your race leader being held up a little bit there by a bit of lap traffic. That's the 87 Felix Dorling. So Ethan Sparks being held up a little bit, and that's going to cost him a couple of seconds. You can see there's the battle for second coming around the final corner as they start to make their way past Isaiah Devine. And yeah, so unfortunately for Ethan Sparks, he's lost himself 2 seconds there on that last lap, navigating his way around the traffic.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for Ethan Sparks, and now that's allowing these guys an opportunity to try and catch up. We saw Alfie Davidson on an absolute charge at the moment on that number 8 machine. So with just over 2.5 laps to go of this race, 2.3 seconds it was over the line. Will these guys be able to catch up? I'm just wondering if Ollie Horner just had a little bit of a problem with one of those laps there, because he dropped 2 seconds, and that's how the number 8 of Alfie Davidson managed to make his way through. He found his way back onto the back of Alfie Davidson, but now dropping back again. So I wonder if the number 70 is just running into some issues as well. They're just boxed in there behind the number 87 of Felix Dorling, just making his way through there on the lap traffic of Felix Dorling. This battle hotting up really. That's a brilliant move at the final corner there by the number 61 of Harrison McKay. Moves up ahead of Warwick Brady for 4th place. So a brilliant battle brewing for 4th as well, and he seems to have a little bit of breathing space now over the number 99 of Warwick Brady, who we saw was really fast at Lydd in the wet some mixed conditions here for the MK GP50s, but they're all dealing with it really well at the front. Ethan Sparks has stretched that lead out to 3 seconds, so I think it's safe to say it's going to be a tall order for the number 8 of Alfie Davidson or the number 70 of Ollie Horner to be able to catch up to Ethan Sparks. He's looking comfortable out front, but with 1.5 laps to go, anything can happen in this MK GP50 race.
Yep, Ethan Sparks coming around to take the last lap flag now to start his final tour of this second race of the weekend for the MK GP70s. The fight between Harrison McKay and Warwick Brady will continue. What a move from Harrison McKay last time around, but he's going to try and hold on, but they're going side by side into oblivion. Warwick Brady's going to have the inside line for turn 2. Does he get the move done? Brilliant move there from the 99 if he could have got the move done. But there is your race leader, the 62. Ethan Sparks, he's looking at picking up another win on the season. But behind, the battle is still going on between Warwick Brady and Harrison McKay. Ollie Horner is looking nailed on for a 3rd place finish. Alfie Davidson in 2nd place. But Ethan Sparks has controlled this one since getting to the front. And he's just getting his way around some back markers there. And this is your race leader coming into the penultimate corner at turn 10. And Ethan Sparks is going to pick up another win on the season here at the MK GP50s. And what a win for the young man. The 62 crosses the line and takes the checkered flag. Alfie Davidson 2.3 seconds back in 2nd place. Ollie Horner is looking at picking up 3rd place, comes across the line and does pick up a podium. So Ollie Horner on the podium. Harrison McKay comes across the line by less than 0.05 of a second ahead of Warwick Brady. That's how close it was. Blake Wilson in 6th, Sam Munson in 7th. We've still got a battle going on. Ronnie Harris is in this fight right down between 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th. He's trying to make his way through some lap traffic, some traffic that's probably going to lap him, but this battle is going to come up to the line. But that's your championship leader. 2 falls. Dramatic loss of points there for Ronnie Harris. And across the line, Jacob Stevenson is in 9th. Philip Sroviak is your final, is in 10th position. But there you go. Ethan Sparks holding on to the win, 2.3 seconds ahead of Alfie Davidson. Ollie Horner, who started on the pole, finishing in 3rd. Harrison McKay, after that brilliant move on Warwick Brady, comes home 4th with Warwick Brady in 5th. Blake Wilson up to 6th position with Harry Payne, Sam Munson in 7th, Harry Payne in 8th, Jacob Stevenson in 9th, and Philip Sroviak in 10th place.
Plenty of exciting action to come in this race. It's Ethan Sparks who's leading this championship, but it's Ollie Horner who's going to be on pole position. Ahead of Ethan Sparks, Ronnie Harris, who crashed out earlier on, he's in 3rd place on the grid. Ahead of Warwick Brady, a good grid position for Warwick. The number 72 of Samuel Munson will line up in 5th spot ahead of Clayton Edmonds, who's having a brilliant weekend there. 6th place on the grid for Clayton. The number 100 of Cameron Sewell will line up in 7th ahead of number 8 of Alfie Davidson. Blake Wilson in 9th and Harrison McKay, who picked up the first podium of the weekend, in 10th place on the grid. Casey Sperry in 11th ahead of Luke Schofield, the number 64 in 12th. Charlie Huntingford, who we saw taking a win earlier on in the LC40 Elite, in 13th ahead of Ollie Sims in 14th. Jacob Stevenson, the number 67 in 15th ahead of Philip Soroviak. Arnie Carr in 17th, Harry Payne in 18th, Felix Dorling in 19th, and the number 21 of Dominic Gardner rounding out the grid in 20th position. Isaiah Devine in 21st, and the number 137 of Aston Dean in 22nd position.
Yep, as it's going to be a big race here for Ronnie Harris, because of course went down twice in race 2. Firstly in the opening stages, and then late trying to close back in. He went down at the final corner and lost the lead in the championship to Ethan Sparks. So after having a 17-point advantage going into race 2, it's now an 8-point advantage to Ethan Sparks. So Ethan, of course, will be lining up on the front row, 1 position ahead of Ronnie. Will be looking at extending this gap, but of course, if you're Ronnie Harris, you've got to think this is a race that he needs to be finishing ahead of Ethan Sparks if he's to hold on to well, somewhat of a championship challenge, because of course you don't want any of your competitors, especially towards the front end of the grid, getting away with anything too soon and giving them free positions and free points in this one. But Ethan Sparks there, you can see the 62 bike is lining up alongside Ollie Horner, who we spoke to this morning, and he said he didn't like the wet. Well, this time you've got the complete opposite. You've got the dry. As the engine notes rise, they look to the lights. We wait. Lights on, lights off, away we go. It's a good start once again for Ethan Sparks. He sweeps around the outside, up into the lead. Behind, Ronnie Harris filters into third position. Not quite able to get past Ollie Horner, but a great start there from Ethan Sparks once again. Up into the lead of this one. Ollie Horner's now got Ronnie Harris all over the inside of him as they go into Christmas corner for the first time. There's Clayton Edmonds going side by side with Warwick Brady. Clayton manages to hold on. He's in fifth position. He's just taken fourth off of Warwick Brady. Up ahead, it's still Ronnie Harris from Ollie Horner that's battling over second and third, but Ethan Sparks, great getaway from the 62. He leads this one.
Ollie Horner was just having a look at the number 62 of Ethan Sparks down into turn 6. Couldn't quite make a move stick at the moment, but Ollie Horner doing a brilliant job in second place at the moment, fending off the number 66 just behind him of Ronnie Harris. Ronnie Harris lost out on the championship lead in the last race with crashing out and Ethan Sparks taking the victory. Ronnie Harris has been so consistent at the top. Before that DNF, he'd hadn't finished off of the podium in any race, so that was the first time he was off of the podium. Really consistent at the top, and as he moves up into second place into Christmas corner, but equally consistent has been Ethan Sparks, always at the front of these mini GP50 races, and it was only took one DNF from Ronnie Harris for Ethan Sparks to move up into that championship lead. But now it's Ethan Sparks, the number 62, ahead of the white bike there with the blue number plate on the front with the number 66. That's Ronnie Harris, who's going to be looking to get himself in front of Ethan Sparks, because it's all about these two for the championship.
Yeah, it's your two championship protagonists leading this one with the 62 and the 66, but Ollie Horner doing a great job at going with them at the moment. He's got a run on Ronnie Harris in towards Oblivion at turn 1, not able to get alongside, but Ethan Sparks leading from Ronnie Harris. Ollie Horner in second. Warwick Brady has got back past Clayton Edmonds, who seems to be missing from the timing screen, so Clayton Edmonds is still out on circuit, but is not showing. He's behind Warwick Brady, so yeah, but Ronnie Harris last time round, fastest lap of 54.728, so he's starting to put the pressure on Ethan. He knows that he needs to overtake Ethan and retake this championship lead. Of course, 25 points for a victory, 20 for second, so if he took the win and Ethan finished in second, that closed the championship gap to 3 points going into round 5.
Yep, so it's all action at the front of this one between your two championship contenders. And there's Sam Munson just going up the inside of Warwick Brady. And Warwick Brady going down at the boot there. Really unfortunate for Warwick Brady. He's had a few crashes this weekend, and he's finishing the final race for the MK GP50 class on the floor. They're going to try and get that bike up and back in the race, but he's lost a tank there. We saw one of the GP50s. You just see Spud Nesbitt there coming over and giving him a hand. He seems a little bit winded there, does the number 99 of Warwick Brady, so not the way he wanted his weekend to end. But it's Ethan Sparks then out the front, 54.4 on that last lap, but Ronnie Harris 54.5 and Ollie Horner 54.5 as well. So these guys at the top absolutely matched for pace. Ollie Horner, we've seen him pick up a podium at Clay Pigeon. He's took 2 pole positions so far this season, 1 at Clay Pigeon and 1 here, looking to convert that into a win this weekend.
Oh, here comes Ronnie Harris up the inside of Ethan Sparks into the final corner, gets the move done. Can Ethan do the switchback on him down towards Oblivion? He's going to try and go around the outside. No, Ronnie Harris holds onto it, so great move there from the 66, making up for lost points in race 2. But Ethan Sparks has now got a run on him up the hill, coming up towards Christmas corner. Back up the inside goes Ethan Sparks. Can Ronnie Harris come back and use the switchback and use the longer outside line and cut back and use turn 5 down into the hairpin? No, shuts the door goes Ethan Sparks. So Ronnie Harris promoted up to first briefly, now back down to second. Ollie Horner's just watching on, waiting for some drama to unfold.
Yeah, absolutely. Ollie Horner just at the back of these guys, just watching these guys scrap it out. Still 8 laps to go, so no need to make any rash moves at the moment. But I think Ronnie Harris first feels like he's got the pace to get through on Ethan Sparks, and he wants to have a little bit of a go at breaking away. He's got the fastest lap of the race so far at the moment. But for Ollie Horner, it's all about just following these guys at the moment, seeing where he can make a move stick towards the final stages of this race. Still 7 laps to go in this one. Fastest lap of the race went to Ethan Sparks on that last lap then with a 54 flat. So Ethan Sparks flying at the front. He's determined to make sure he can fend off Ronnie Harris, because these two absolutely battling it out at the top of the championship. Another rider who's also at the top of the championship with these guys is Mason Foster, but he's not running in this class this weekend. We've seen him out in the GP70s but not in the GP50s. He's a regular front runner in this class, so strange not to see him out. Perhaps some technical issues on his GP50 that means he can't get out this weekend, but it's all about Ronnie Harris and Ethan Sparks at the moment. Ollie Horner doing a brilliant job to stay with them.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's Cameron Sewell chasing down Jacob Stevenson and trying to get up the inside and past, and Cameron alongside as they come into the third to last corner, and Cameron and Jacob battling out as they come up to the final 2 corners on the lap, as we are at 50% distance in this final race of the weekend for the MK GP50s. We've got Cameron Sewell chasing down Jacob Stevenson, with Charlie Huntingford of course winning in the LC40 Elites just a few races ago. Ollie Sims and Philip Sorowiak both closing in. Arnie Carr, who's made up a couple of positions, started 17th, now finds himself in 13th position. Blake Wilson in 14th. Harry Payne now dropped to 15th position, but it's Ethan Sparks leading from Ronnie Harris. Ollie Horner still staying within half a second of this battle. So with as they come round to start, 5 laps left to go, and they come round to lap Isaiah Devine, and it's going to be, you can see a wide line there from Ollie as he took a lot of speed into the final corner, and he almost got up the inside of Ronnie Harris into oblivion there, but Ronnie wised up and closed the door, and Ronnie's in fact got a nice run on Ethan Sparks as they go up the hill towards Christmas. Not quite close enough to get a move up the inside, but he's looking very menacing behind Ethan Sparks, so it's going to be a whole handful for Ethan Sparks to hold off Ronnie Harris, who's going to be wanting to pick up some points and making up for that non-score in race 2.
Yeah, Ollie Horner really coming into his own in this Mini GP50 category. 2 pole positions so far this season as they just come through the number 21 of Dominic Gardner up the inside, round the outside. They all make a move stick nice and cleanly there through some lapped traffic, but yeah, Ollie Horner, the number 70, really coming to his own in this MK GP50 class. Rode well at Lid, picked up some 4th positions, got pole position, and that's Dominic Gardner, who's gone down at the final corner, the number 21 on the Patronus liveried bike there. He's gone down. We've seen take out a few riders this weekend, and unfortunately Dominic Gardner has fell victim to that one. We heard the scrapes and then we saw the bike, but back to the front then, number 62 and the number 66 still nip and tuck out the front, with Ollie Horner, who's really pushing on in this race, doing a really good job to stay with these guys, ready to pick up another podium in this race. He picked up a podium last time out at Clay Pigeon, and looking to pick up another one and possibly even a win here at Whilton Mill with just under 4 laps to go.
Just 3 laps to go as they come around to start the next lap. That's Cameron Sewell still closing in on Jacob Stevenson in the battle for 8th position. You've got 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th all in the same shot. Jacob Stevenson doing a great job of holding off Cameron Sewell behind Charlie Huntingford, and Ollie Sims will equally be eyeing up a top 10 finish with Philip Sorowiak equally in 12th position, looking at making a few moves down. They're coming on to their 3rd to last lap as they come around the final corner, and there is Philip Sorowiak in the number 75 as he comes across the line, but it is still 0.2 of a second gap at the front between Ronnie Harris. Ollie Horner closing in now as it gets to within half a second, and there goes up the inside goes Cameron Sewell as Jacob Stevenson sweeps around the outside, holding onto position. Jacob Stevenson doing a brilliant job so far, defending from a whole heap of riders.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant stuff. Really defensive lines from Jacob Stevenson. He had a good race earlier on as well. Cameron Saul on that brightly liveried number 100 bike there, just trying to find a way through on the number 67 at the moment. Still 1.5 laps to go for these riders then, so plenty of time for them to make some moves stick, but they come into to finish the penultimate lap for these guys then, as they come on to the start the penultimate lap of this race, with Ethan Sparks, Ronnie Harris and Ollie Horner out the front by some margin, coming on to the back straight down into turn 9, ready to finish their penultimate lap.
Yep, Ethan Sparks, Ronnie Harris and Ollie Horner building themselves a 9-second advantage over Sam Munson in 4th position. So these three have been riding off into the distance ahead of everyone else as they exit onto the final lap. Just one to go here as they take the final lap flag here in the MK GP50 class as they end their weekend. Ollie Horner's got to run, use the wide line coming out of Crook Corner, and not quite close enough to Ronnie Harris. Ronnie Harris definitely has his eyes fixated on that rear tyre of Ethan Sparks. You can see the concentration on Ethan as he entered turn 5 there, and Ronnie Harris has only got a few more corners to make a move on Ethan Sparks. Ethan Sparks will be looking at picking up a second win on the weekend. He's only got 4 more corners to navigate. Ronnie Harris has got a really good run on him down into turn 9. Can he close in for a run to the final line? Ethan Sparks with 2 corners left to go. Can he extend his lead in the championship? He's going to exit the final corner, and Ethan Sparks with Ronnie Harris behind closing in, but it's going to be Ethan Sparks on the line by Ronnie Harris by less than a tenth of a second. Ollie Horner picks up a podium with a 4/10 of a second back. Well done, Ollie. But yeah, what a race there from Ethan Sparks, holding off Ronnie Harris right to the bitter end. Sammy Munson in 4th, Harrison McKay in 5th. And then behind you've still got this battle going on. Jacob Stevenson has seemingly held every single rider off right until the last. Will he be able to hold on to 8th position up to the final corner and across the line? There we go, celebrating. He knows that has been a brilliant job. Well done, holding off so many riders. And but there is the final provisional result for this one. Ethan Sparks with a time that has just beaten out Ronnie Harris in 2nd position. Ollie Horner is on the podium in 3rd position in the 70 bike, with Sam Munson in 4th, Harrison McKay in 5th, with Alfie Davidson in 6th, Casey Sperry in 7th, with Jacob Stevenson elated to pick up 8th position, Cameron Saul not quite able to get past in 9th, and Charlie Huntingford in the top 10 in 10th position.